Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Shay. I'm a 24-year-old laboratory technician living in Boston, Massachusetts with a passion for personal finance. So I wanted to sit down today to do my first monthly money review and net worth update of 2025. January was a 3 paycheck month for me, so my income was a little higher than usual this month. From my job, I received $4,712.87, and then I also received an additional $696.21, which consists of Venmo payments, gifts, the winnings of my fantasy football league, and moving some money over from some sinking funds that I keep in my high yield savings account. This brought my total income for the month to $5,409.08. I deposited $1,384.74 into my high yield savings account, which is where I keep both my emergency and sinking funds. I also invested $125.20 into my Roth IRA. This left me with $3,899.14 in spending money to budget for the month. My largest expense every month is my rent, which comes out to $1,267. This was followed by groceries, which was much higher than what I had originally budgeted for the month. I spent $661.55 in this category this month, and there are 3 factors that I believe contributed to this increase. First, I didn't travel at all this month, so there were simply more meals for me to cook at home than during a month where I would be traveling. Second, I recently changed my main grocery store from Wegmans to Roach Brothers, which is more expensive, but also much closer to my apartment and my gym, which are the locations which I usually drive to the grocery store from. And right now, at this point in my life, I am okay with spending a little bit extra in groceries if it's gonna give me that convenience and save me time. Finally, since I've had a little more free time this month, I've been experimenting with different, more complex recipes. Typically, when I'm in a busier season in my life, I will just cook the same sort of 3 or 4 meals every week until I get sick of them, which saves me both time and money. But this month, I have been updating my recipes weekly. I spent $602.60 in my food and drink category this month, which is also a little bit higher than what I typically budget for. This category includes going out to eat or for drinks, takeout, coffee, any random gas station drinks or snacks I might get, and I also group in my occasional trip to the dispensary in this category. Like I said earlier, this year I won my fantasy football league, and my boyfriend was a big help in that. So I decided to use a chunk of my winnings to take my boyfriend and I out to dinner and drinks downtown one night earlier this month. That night accounts for over half of my food and drink budget for the month, and without it, I would be right in my normal range for spending in the food and drink category. I spent $311 in my activities category. This mostly consists of a cooking class that I booked and paid for as part of a Christmas gift to my boyfriend that we took. And it also includes 2 donations I made to different charities. I didn't really know where to put those in my categories for budgeting, so I just grouped them in with activities. I spent $157.53 on gifts this month. This was for a care package for one of my friends from college, but I did receive a few Venmos from friends to help cover the cost of this, which was reflected in that 600 number that was a part of my additional income for the month. My portion of utilities for the apartment came out to $142.77. I pay for Wi-Fi, gas, and electric, and those 3 things are split evenly between me and my 2 roommates. Typically in the winter, my utilities are a little bit higher because we have the heat on, and also we keep the lights on more often just because it gets dark so early here. I spent $117.32 in the transportation category. Typically, this category just consists of paying for parking, Ubers, or any public transportation I might take, but I also included a parking ticket that I had to pay and the cost of getting my taillight replaced earlier this month. I spent $114.24 on shopping and $84 on gas for my car. My gym category was $42.16 this month, which consists of my gym membership and my Oura Ring subscription. My travel category came out to $11.20, which was just the fees that I had to pay for a flight I booked using airline points for a trip that I'm going to be taking at the end of February. Finally, my student loan payment, car insurance payment, and subscription categories stay consistent from month to month at $272.80, an even $100 and $14.97 respectively. Now it's time to move on to my net worth update. I calculate my net worth by finding the difference between all of my assets and my liabilities. For my assets, I include my high yield savings account, brokerage account, 401ks, Roth IRA, and my employee stock ownership plan account, or ESOP account. And my only liability is my federal student loans, because I don't have a car payment and I'm not in any credit card or medical debt, thankfully. I currently have $9,461.86 in my high yield savings account, which, like I said earlier, holds both my emergency and sinking funds. So if we want to break this down a little bit further, my emergency fund is currently sitting at $8,313.49 out of my $10,000 goal. My travel sinking fund is currently fully funded at $1,000, and I currently have $146.37 in my gift sinking fund, which has a goal of $1,000. I have $1,522.99 invested in my brokerage account and $169.02 invested in my Roth IRA. I currently have two 401ks, one from my previous employer and one from my new employer, which acquired my previous company back in November. I'm no longer contributing to that first 401k, but it currently has a balance of $10,280.75. My current 401k has a balance of $1,396.99. This current 401k balance is so much lower than my previous companies simply because I've only been contributing to the new one for a couple of months, while my previous 401k was built up over the course of about a year and a half. I'm also in the process of rolling this old 401k over into the new one so that everything will be in one spot and it will be a little bit easier to manage and keep track of. Finally, the exciting part, my ESOP account has a balance of $129,218.16. I had a huge jump in this account this month because I finally got the balance that reflects the share price from the sale of my company back in November. Since the ESOP account no longer exists since my company was acquired, I'm currently in the process of moving it into a traditional IRA, but this process is expected to take a few months. I don't think the money is going to be moved until around the end of March. All of this brings my total assets to $151,881.20, and the current balance of my liability, or my federal student loans, is $24,006.28. I have no interest in paying these loans off early, so I'm just participating in their standard repayment plan, where I make equal payments over the course of 10 years, and at the end of the 10 years, the balance will be zero. With all this considered, that makes my current net worth in January 2025 $127,874.92. Thank you guys so much for watching, if you did make it this far, and I will see you all next month for my February review.